So let's talk about Elden Ring, and I can actually give you guys my impressions, my thoughts of the game. Not my full review. This isn't a review of a game. I haven't done gaming reviews in such a long time. But I will say that I've been playing the game ever since I've got it, though I didn't get to play it day one because I was waiting for this to come in the mail. But I will say that over 20 hours in, I have yet to find something negative about the game that I did not like in terms of visual aspect, in terms of gameplay, in terms of story. Then again, I really don't play Souls games for the story. I usually just skip the dialogue and I'm just all about the action. And honestly, to me, that is the most rewarding part of this game, is the action, the combat. If you've ever played any of the Souls game, whether it's Demon Souls on the PS3 or even the PS5 remake, or any of the Dark Souls series, Dark Souls 1, Dark Souls 2, and Dark Souls 3, you've played Bloodborne, and of course you also played Sekiro Shadows Die Twice. It's pretty much a culmination of all the games put into one, and gives you this big open world experience for you to just go anywhere that you want. Of course, there are some areas that you're not going to be able to have access to because there are certain objectives that you have to do in order to get access into this area. But I will say that just riding around with the horse that you get in the beginning of the game, and just going from point A to point B, just traveling anywhere that you want, not feeling restricted, unless, of course, as I said earlier, there are certain objectives that you got to do to get to that area. You can just literally go anywhere, and I didn't feel any kind of like the game's like holding me back in a way. Like, Souls games don't hold you back. If anything, they don't hold your hand. It's mostly you're gonna have to figure things out on your own and just work with what you got, or spend the time trying to build up your character so that way when you go back into certain areas that you're not able to get into, or you're having a tough time getting by, you can at least be at an adequate level to go up against enemies, and even, of course, go up against the area boss. I will say that I did beat two of the bosses, Margaret and of course Godric. Beat those two both in my second try. And yes, I will say that I am one of those guys that use summons. I don't care, I use them. If they're there, I'm gonna use them. Okay, this is my first playthrough. I'm not gonna be one of those Souls tryhards that be like, oh, if you haven't finished the Souls game by yourself, then you really didn't finish it. Shut up, just shut up. Okay, it's there, we're going to use it, okay? Let us have fun and enjoy it. After all, if anything, it just makes the experience even better because now you get to play with someone, be it a random or one of your friends, and you just have fun with it. You're going around just killing enemies, exploring new areas, though on co-op, you will not be able to use your horse. So everything is going to be on foot, and that makes the experience a lot interesting because I'm going to tell you right now, I don't think I would be able to do co-op and explore all parts of the world of Elden Ring on foot. No. I don't even think you could fast travel as well, so there's that. But overall, my impressions of the game, I've just been having a blast. I've literally sat, like, in one sitting, put in 7 hours into the game, and most of it is just literally exploring areas, new areas on top of that, and of course going up against tough enemies. And I will say that when it comes to like bigger enemies, they're a little bit more easier to take down, especially on the horse. Like, I feel like the horse combat makes boss fights a little easier because the thing that you have is the fact that, for one, you have more mobility, and two, you have a double jump. On foot, mobility, not so much, and you only got one jump. but you can at least dodge. But with the horse, you can just literally just get out of the way, get out of dodge. And there were some enemies where you're literally gonna have to take your time, and I mean take your time, beating these enemies. Don't rush into it. That's one thing I had to learn, is just take my time and just repeat the same pattern over and over and over again, and eventually the boss is gonna die. The big tough enemy is gonna die. The side boss or whatnot is going to die eventually, if you're just gonna be patient. And that's the thing people need to understand, is just when it comes to tough enemies, just be patient, watch their patterns. There was one enemy, the Crucible Knight. As I was getting ready to fight the Crucible Knight, I read one of those messages that you see on the ground when you're online, so to speak, and it says, try parrying. So I tried parrying, and I was almost there. I was almost there to beating the Crucible Knight, but man, you get so close, but it's just like, oh man, I'm so close. I just have to get better at parrying him. Like literally, you could win that entire boss fight just parrying. You're just gonna have to take time. You're just gonna have to be patient and don't be greedy. Just get maybe one or two few hits in, and then just back away and just see what else they're gonna do, how they're gonna react. Even the Tree Sentinel, the one side boss enemy you find in the early stages of the game, and yeah, he completely wrecks you, and of course he can definitely one-shot you. But as I got stronger and I started to learn the Tree Sentinel's attack patterns, I was able to get in where I need to get in a couple of hits, build up that blood loss gauge, because I'm going in as samurai and I love it. But the only downside is the fact that I got to get in close to build that blood loss. Otherwise, yeah, it's gonna be a really, really long fight. But man, that blood loss has been saving me from so many situations. So I like my samurai class. I like the Uchi Tagana, or whatever it's called, the samurai sword. If you use a samurai, you know exactly what I'm talking about. So overall, I would say performance and technical issues. I'm aware of the whole frame drops on the PS5, and it's like, it's not hurting my gaming experience. I do notice it when I'm like trying to do something completely extra, especially if I'm using the horse. Like, I'll notice it, but I will say that it has not ruined my gaming experience overall. I'm still having fun and enjoying the game. Hell, as I said, I literally sat down for 7 hours just playing this game non-stop. I haven't done that for a game like that in a while. So that just lets you know that I really like this game. I'm really enjoying the game, especially as a Souls player, as a Souls veteran. I've played all the Souls games, beaten them all except 2, Demon Souls and Dark Souls 1. But 2, 3, Bloodborne, Sekiro, I beat them. Dark Souls 3 being my favorite, love it. But overall, I'm enjoying this game, and I'm gonna take my time to beat this game. I'm in no rush trying to get to the finish line, get to the final boss, beat the game, and be like, okay, I'm done, I'll play another game. No, this is one of those games where I really want to take my time, enjoy it, try to get as many awesome weapons as I can, and of course buff my character to the point where I literally am broken. I did that in Dark Souls 3. I damn sure gonna be doing it in Elden Ring. And I will say, for one last note, is that online, of course, on social media, people say that the game needs an easy mode. The game needs to be more accessible to casuals. I will say this, as someone that has played all the Souls games and have beaten all of them except the 2 that I mentioned, this game is a lot forgiving and a little bit easier than the previous Souls games, because one of the things is that, for example, when you die, you don't come back as an undead with less health until you get an item that brings you back to life, makes you undead, like makes you an actual human, like you've got your humanity back, and of course you got your full health bar. You don't get that. Also, when you die, you're still able to summon. In Dark Souls 3, when you died and you were undead, you could not summon. You had to be human again in order to summon. So yeah, you could still summon. And of course, when you die, there's like no negative penalty unless you die again and you lose all your runes. So, and of course, if you find this one item, I know I'm going all over the tangent or whatnot, but if you find this one item and you put it as your talisman, it's a little branch where if you die, this will go away instead of your runes. So if you die, you'll still keep your runes. This branch will just go away in its place. So I would say this game is definitely more forgiving than the previous games. Now, I will say that when it comes to the combat, that's where it gets a bit tricky, because some of these enemies, they can one-shot you. Like, some of these, do not underestimate these enemies in Elden Ring unless you are so strong to the point where you just one-shot them. Until then, I would pick my battles carefully. You don't have to fight every enemy you see, okay? If you've already traveled far enough in one area, you don't have to go around and just kill every... No. Unless you want to, get that experience, get those runes, by all means, go for it. But save your resources. Save them for bigger fights that's going to come along the way. For me, what I've been doing is just traveling around the world, looking for lost sites of grace. So that way I can be like, okay, I can go here, I can go here, I can go here, I can go here, I can go here. I can go as many places as I want. And then, eventually I'll come back to it later once I progress through the game, main storyline. But overall, it's a great game. I am having fun with it. I can't say if I can recommend it to you as a, pick it up and purchase it, but I will say it is, for me right now, it's definitely worth the buy. I am so glad that I got my money's worth with this game and I'm enjoying it. So that being said, I'm going to go ahead and end it on that note. I'll probably let you guys know if I do a review of this game, but overall, my impressions of this game is extremely positive. I'm having fun with the game, and yeah, I'm going to continue to keep playing it. So anyway, guys, until next time, and as always, stay classy.